Every single day counts. The choices you make today shape your future. But how often do we get caught up in distractions, letting time slip by without taking action? What if today is the day that changes everything? What if you commit to making every moment count, no matter how small the effort feels? This isn't about waiting for motivation to strike. It's about building a mindset that makes every day a step toward your goals, no matter how tough things get. In this video, we're diving deep into how to make each day a foundation for success, no matter the obstacles. You'll discover how to stay focused, overcome setbacks, and stay true to your vision. So are you ready to stop letting time pass by? Let's make every single day count, starting now. Stay with me and let's unlock your potential together. Number 1, start every day with a purpose and relentless focus. Every day is a new chance to get it right. Every morning, the moment you open your eyes, the clock starts ticking. And here's what most people don't realize. That time you have, it isn't free. It's not guaranteed. You don't get to save it for later. You don't get to ask for more when it's gone. The way you start your day, the way you walk into your morning, sets the tone for everything. And if you don't have a clear purpose, if you don't have relentless focus, you're going to be pulled in every direction, but the right one. You see, the world doesn't care if you slept well. It doesn't care if you feel tired or unmotivated. The world will keep moving with or without you. So you have two choices. You can drift and hope you land somewhere worth being, or you can take charge. You can show up with intent. You can decide that every single day is going to be one step closer to something better. That's what separates the people who grow from the ones who stay stuck. The ones who make progress are not necessarily the smartest. They're not the luckiest. They're the ones who start their day with a clear reason to win, a reason that's stronger than their excuses. Most people wake up and they're already reacting. They check their phone. They scroll through things that don't add value. They start their day distracted. And then they wonder why they don't feel in control. They wonder why the day feels like a blur. That's because they didn't take a moment to stop and say, why am I here today? What matters most right now? If you don't set your purpose, life will set it for you. And you might not like where that takes you. You don't need a perfect morning routine. You don't need 10 steps and the best coffee in the world. What you need is clarity. You need to wake up and ask yourself one simple question. What do I need to do today to be proud of how I used my time? Not next week, not next year. Today, that's all that matters. Because if you can do that today and then again tomorrow, and then the next day, you're not just building habits. You're building a life that makes sense. A life that gives you energy instead of draining you. Purpose doesn't have to be something big and dramatic. It just needs to be real. Maybe today your purpose is to take care of your health. Maybe it's to move one step forward in your career. Maybe it's to fix something in your relationships. Or to simply finish what you said you would start. Purpose is not about perfection. It's about direction. It's about choosing to be intentional with your energy, instead of wasting it on things that don't push you forward. And focus. Well, focus is the gatekeeper. Without it, purpose fades. You can have the best intentions, but if your attention is scattered, you won't finish anything. Focus is about cutting out the noise. It's about saying no to what doesn't align. It's about giving yourself permission to lock in on what matters and ignore what doesn't. That's hard in a world filled with distractions, but it's necessary, because every time you give your energy to something that doesn't serve your goals, you're stealing from your future. You're robbing yourself of the chance to be better, stronger, more in control. Some people wait for the perfect moment to get serious. They wait until they feel motivated, until the timing is right. That's not how life works. There is no perfect moment. There is only now. And now is the only thing you can control. So what are you doing with it? Are you using it, or are you wasting it? Discipline doesn't come from motivation. It comes from standards. It comes from deciding that you're not going to live the same year over and over again. That you're not going to look back 5 years from now and realize you've been stuck in the same place. It comes from starting your day with something more powerful than emotion. It comes from choosing purpose over feelings. Because feelings change. Purpose doesn't. When you start your day with a reason, you don't need to rely on willpower. You don't need to push yourself constantly, because you know why you're doing what you're doing. And that reason pulls you forward. It gives you strength when things get hard. It reminds you that this moment matters, and how you show up now will shape what you get later. You can't fake focus. You can't pretend to care. Your results will always reflect how serious you are. And if you keep letting distractions win, if you keep letting excuses talk you out of progress, you're going to look up one day and realize how much time you've thrown away. That hurts. That regret. It's not something you can undo, but you can prevent it. You can stop it from building up by making today count. You don't need a miracle. You need consistency. You need to wake up and do what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it. You need to stop making decisions based on what's easy and start making decisions based on what builds your future. That's what purpose does. It gives you a reason to get uncomfortable. It gives you a reason to fight for something more. And when you know what you're fighting for, quitting doesn't feel like an option. There's no shortcut here. No trick, no secret. It's about showing up, not just when it's easy, not just when it's fun. Every single day, show up with a reason, show up with a plan, and follow through. People respect action. The world rewards results. And both start with how you handle the first hour of your day. That's where the foundation is built. That's where you decide who you're going to be. If you wake up without a plan, the world will give you one. It'll distract you. It'll slow you down. It'll make you forget your goals. But if you start your day with clarity, with commitment, and with relentless focus, you become unstoppable. You take back control. You build your future one small win at a time. And those wins add up fast when you stay consistent. You don't need to have everything figured out. Just know your next step. Know what matters most. Know what you need to get done today. Then do it. No second guessing. No waiting around. Get to work. And when you do that long enough, your life will change in ways you didn't think were possible. That's the truth. Your life isn't going to improve because you wish it would. It's going to improve because you decided that today matters, that this moment matters, that your time is not something to be played with. It's not something to waste. It's your most valuable asset. And every single day is a new opportunity to use it wisely. So stop leaving your days to chance. Stop starting your mornings in reaction. Be proactive. Be intentional. Be serious about your time. Wake up with a reason. Focus with everything you've got. And move through the day with purpose. Don't get distracted by what everyone else is doing. Focus on what you said you were going to do. Build that trust with yourself. Prove that your word means something, that you follow through, that when you say you're going to do something, you do it. That builds confidence. That builds discipline. That builds a life you can be proud of. But it all starts the moment you wake up. That first thought, that first decision. That's where everything begins. So make it count. Don't rush past it. Don't let it slip by. Take control. Make it real. And never forget what's on the line. Because when you make each day count, when you live with purpose and relentless focus, you don't just change your days, you change your life. And here's the bottom line. Nobody's coming to do it for you. Nobody's going to push you harder than you push yourself. So if you want something better, if you're tired of going in circles, if you're ready to get serious about your growth, it starts now, not later, not when you feel ready. Now show up for yourself. Start strong. Stay focused. And don't leave the day without doing something that brings you closer to the life you know you were meant to live. Every single day, make it count. That's how you win. That's how you grow. That's how you build a life that doesn't need escaping from. One day at a time, one purpose at a time, one focused action at a time. Make the decision today, and don't look back. Number 2, seize today's opportunities without waiting for tomorrow's promise. Most people live like they've got unlimited time. They talk about what they'll do next week. They make plans for someday. They wait for a perfect day that never shows up. But the truth is, you only get one shot at each day. You don't get a second try at today. You don't get to hit rewind tomorrow morning and do it over again. So why do people treat today like it doesn't matter? Why do they keep putting things off, hoping life will wait for them? Life doesn't wait. Time doesn't pause. Opportunities don't knock twice. When something is in front of you, when you feel that urge inside that tells you to move, to try, to do, you've got to listen. You've got to act. Because when you ignore those moments, they don't come back. You miss your chance. And every missed chance is a step away from the life you say you want. There's something powerful about knowing this might be the only time. This moment right now might never happen again. You might never meet that person again. You might never get that shot again. You might never feel this level of hunger again. And if you don't seize it, if you don't lean into it, you'll regret it. Not today, maybe not even tomorrow, but eventually you'll feel it. You'll feel what it's like to know. You could have done more and didn't. You can't build a strong life by living in delay. You can't achieve big things by always saying later. Later is the enemy of progress. Later is a lie we tell ourselves to feel better about avoiding what needs to be done right now. But the truth is, if it matters, you do it now. If it's important, you make time for it today. Because tomorrow is not promised, and the future doesn't reward those who wait. It rewards those who act. Some people wait for clarity. They wait for the fear to go away. They wait until they have more confidence. That's not how it works. You don't get confidence from waiting. You get confidence from doing, from taking the risk, from betting on yourself, from showing up even when you're not sure how it will go. Because once you take that first step, once you put yourself in motion, you learn more in a day of action than in a year of hesitation. And the truth is, most of the time, the thing you're waiting for is already here. You've got the tools. You've got the ideas. You've got the drive. What you're missing is the decision to move, to stop living in your head and start living in the world. That's the switch. That's what changes your life. Not more information, not more talking, more doing, more choosing, more grabbing the moment and making something of it. If there's someone you've been meaning to talk to them today. If there's a project you've been thinking about starting, start it today. If there's a part of yourself you've been avoiding, face it today. Because the longer you wait, the further you drift. And the more you drift, the harder it gets to come back. You don't want to wake up years from now, wondering what could have happened if you had taken action. You want to know you gave everything when the moment came. This isn't about being reckless. It's about being real, being honest with yourself. Are you taking advantage of the time you have? Or are you just moving through the motions? Are you waiting for someone to give you permission? Or are you willing to take responsibility for your life right now? Everything starts with a decision, a choice. Not next week. Not once everything is lined up. Now, are you willing to get uncomfortable today, to get stronger tomorrow? Are you willing to say no to distractions today, to build something meaningful in the future? Are you willing to do the work when nobody is watching? So one day they will. The people who win in life aren't the ones who always feel ready. They're the ones who act when it matters, who see the window open and step through it, who don't need everything to be perfect to take the first step. They trust their instincts. They follow through on what they feel inside. And they know that action builds the path, while fear just blocks it. You don't need to change everything overnight. You just need to start. Start with what's in front of you. Start with what's possible. Start with something you've been avoiding. And commit to finishing. Commit to showing up again tomorrow. That's how you build momentum. That's how you train yourself to respond to opportunity. Not with hesitation, but with fire. With urgency. With full effort. People say they want more out of life, but then they keep doing the same things every day. They say they want success, but they spend their time scrolling, talking, watching, and not enough time building, learning, doing. You can't live a better life if your habits are pulling you backward. You can't expect different results if you keep ignoring the chances in front of you. You're not going to feel motivated every day. That's okay. Motivation comes and goes, but discipline stays. And discipline is what carries you forward when the excitement wears off. You don't need hype. You need grit. You need the ability to say, I'm going to make something happen today, even if I don't feel like it. That's strength. That's real growth. That's how you earn your progress. Time doesn't slow down. The people who understand that move differently. They stop waiting. They stop overthinking. They make decisions quickly. They adapt fast. They don't need to be perfect. They just need to be consistent. And they treat every opportunity like it matters, because it does. You're going to miss things in life. That's just how it is. But don't let it be because you hesitated. Don't let it be because you waited too long. Let it be because you gave it your all, and it didn't go your way. At least then you'll grow. At least then you'll have something to build on. But if you never act, you never learn. If you never try, you never evolve. There's no such thing as the right time. There's just your time. And it's running. Every second is a chance to make progress or stay where you are. Every hour is either used or lost. And if you're not using it, someone else out there is taking your spot because they made the choice to act. That's how the world works. It doesn't slow down for those who wait. It rewards those who move. So move, decide, commit, and give your energy to what matters. Not to your doubts, not to your fears, but to your goals, your standards, your future. That's how you break through. That's how you grow into the person you were meant to be. One decision at a time, one focused day at a time, one opportunity seized instead of ignored. You have something inside you that wants more. Don't silence it with delay. Feed it with action. Feed it with courage. Feed it with small wins every single day. And when you start to see the results, when you start to feel your life shifting, you'll wonder why you waited so long in the first place. The time you have is not unlimited. One day it runs out. And what will matter most is not what you hoped to do, not what you talked about doing, but what you actually did, what you were brave enough to try, what you were bold enough to pursue. That's what shapes a meaningful life. That's what builds real fulfillment. So if you've been holding back, it ends now. If you've been waiting for the right moment, understand this: it's already here. This is your shot. This is your chance to make a move, to get serious, to shift from thinking to doing. Don't wait another day. Don't waste another hour. Own your time. Seize what's in front of you, and stop depending on the future to make things better. You are the future. Your actions today shape your tomorrow. You decide if you're going to look back proud or full of regret. You decide if today will count, or if it'll be another blur in a long list of wasted time. You don't need a miracle. You need to move. You need to wake up, take a breath, and say, today I go all in. Not next week, not someday. Today, because today is all you've got. And if you don't use it, you lose it. Now is the only guarantee you'll ever have. Use it, build with it, grow from it, and never take it for granted again. Seize today, do what needs to be done, and trust that when you start moving, life starts responding. Number 3, break your comfort zone every single day to grow. Most people spend their lives looking for comfort. They build routines that feel safe. They do the same things, talk to the same people, follow the same patterns day after day. Why? Because comfort feels good. It doesn't challenge you. It doesn't scare you. It lets you stay exactly where you are without demanding anything more from you. But here's the hard truth. Comfort is where growth dies. If you stay in comfort, you stay the same. And if you stay the same, you never reach your full potential. Every single day, you're either getting better or staying stuck. There is no standing still. And the reason most people stay stuck is because they avoid discomfort. They back away from anything unfamiliar. They tell themselves they'll try something new when they feel ready. But growth doesn't work like that. You don't grow because it feels easy. You grow because you step into something that feels hard. You grow because you choose to challenge yourself. Breaking your comfort zone isn't about doing something huge or dramatic. It's about doing something that makes you think twice. Something that raises your heartbeat. Something that pushes against your normal way of operating. It might be a conversation you've been avoiding. It might be speaking your mind. It might be waking up earlier than you want. It might be trying a skill you've never practiced. But whatever it is, it has one thing in common. It demands effort. It asks you to show up in a way you're not used to. When you do that, something powerful happens. You build strength. You prove to yourself that you're more capable than you thought. You learn how to handle discomfort. And the more you face it, the less it controls you. That's the secret. It's not about eliminating fear. It's about refusing to let fear make your decisions for you. People waste years trapped in routines that don't inspire them. They stay in relationships that don't help them grow. They accept jobs that drain them because they're afraid to start over. They avoid risks because they're terrified of failing. But what's even worse than failure is living a life that's too small for you. Living a life where you never stretch, never test yourself, never go after what you really want, Because you're scared of discomfort. Discomfort is the doorway to progress. It's the path to strength, confidence, clarity, and success. Every time you break your comfort zone, you collect a new piece of evidence that proves you're stronger than your fear. That's how you build mental toughness. That's how you build real belief in yourself. You don't get it by reading about it. You don't get it from motivation alone. You get it from action, from showing up when it would be easier to walk away. Some people wait for their confidence to grow before they take action. But that's backward. Confidence comes after you take action, not before. You earn it. You build it. You create it by doing what feels hard. You expand your limits by testing them. That's how real growth works. Not by thinking about it, not by planning it endlessly, but by doing something different today that pushes you further than you were yesterday. Your comfort zone is built from patterns. The longer you stay in those patterns, the harder it gets to leave them. But once you make breaking those patterns a daily habit, you start to change everything. You rewire how you think. You develop courage. You stop being held back by excuses. And you start chasing goals with real urgency. The people who rise the fastest in life aren't the ones with the most talent. They're the ones who keep putting themselves in situations where they have to grow. They don't hide from pressure. They walk toward it. They don't fear judgment. They focus on becoming stronger. They challenge themselves on purpose because they understand that if they stay in comfort, they'll never build the life they dream about. Think about it. Every major breakthrough in your life came from a moment of discomfort. Maybe it was a conversation that scared you. Maybe it was a risk you didn't want to take. Maybe it was trying something you weren't sure you'd be good at. But you did it anyway. And even if it didn't go perfectly, you learned something. You became more. Now imagine doing that every single day. Imagine if each day you did one thing that stretched you. Something small. Something that made you uncomfortable but pushed you toward your goals. Over time, those small actions would stack up. And eventually you'd look back and realize you're a completely different person. Stronger, wiser, more confident, more capable. You don't have to turn your life upside down in a day. You just have to start stepping forward with intention. You have to choose growth over comfort, even when it feels tough. And you have to do it consistently. That's what separates the ones who talk about change from the ones who create it. Comfort tells you to stay quiet when you should speak up. Growth demands your voice. Comfort tells you to settle when you deserve more. Growth reminds you to keep reaching. Comfort says that's good enough. Growth says you've got more in you. And that decision every day becomes your story. It becomes your identity. Are you someone who chooses ease? Or are you someone who shows up, no matter how uncomfortable it feels? Most people will never know what they're truly capable of, because they refuse to test themselves. They live within invisible walls. They tell themselves stories that keep them small. They convince themselves they're not ready, not good enough, not qualified. But none of that is true. The only thing stopping them is their addiction to comfort. And the longer they cling to it, the harder it is to break free. But you're not here to stay the same. You're here to become more. You're here to chase your highest level. And you don't reach that level by staying where it's safe. You reach it by breaking your own limits, one day at a time. Every time you choose discomfort on purpose, you become mentally stronger. Every time you take the hard road, you build discipline. Every time you stop avoiding and start facing your challenges, you build character. That's how winners are made, not in comfort, but in challenge. Discomfort trains your mind to stay sharp. It teaches you to adapt. It shows you what you're made of. You can't build resilience by reading about it. You build it by waking up every day and doing the thing you don't feel like doing. That's how you train yourself to win, even when conditions aren't ideal. There will always be days when comfort feels tempting, when you want to take it easy, when the voice in your head says, just skip it today. But those are the days that matter the most, because that's when you get to prove who you really are. Not just when it's easy, but when it's hard. When it requires grit, when it tests your focus, that's when the real growth happens. You have a chance every single day to stretch yourself. You have a moment today to do something that makes you better than yesterday. That could be waking up earlier. That could be starting the project you keep avoiding. That could be going to the gym when you'd rather rest. That could be having a hard conversation you've been putting off. Whatever it is, don't run from it. Walk straight into it. That's how you grow. You want a better life. It starts with better choices, better actions, better habits. And none of that happens by doing what's easy. It happens by doing what's necessary, what's uncomfortable, what stretches you. The results you want are on the other side of that. And when you get used to breaking your comfort zone daily, you stop being shocked by challenge. You stop getting paralyzed by fear. You become someone who runs toward the fire, not away from it, because you've trained for it. You've chosen it. You've owned it. That's how you become unstoppable. That's how you build momentum. That's how you create a life that inspires people. Not by playing it safe, but by pushing yourself when no one is watching. Most people want progress without pressure. They want change without challenge. But it doesn't work that way. Growth is earned, and it's earned through effort, through daily decisions to push when you could pause, to go further when you could settle, to stay focused when it would be easier to give in. And the best part is, once you build the habit of breaking your comfort zone, it gets easier. You stop fearing it. You start craving it, because you know that every time you do it, you come out stronger. Every time you step forward, even when it's hard, you move closer to the life you've always wanted. So ask yourself, what have you been avoiding? What's that one thing that's been sitting in your mind, waiting for you to take action? Do it today, not next week, not when it feels more comfortable. Now this is your chance to stop playing small and start rising. Not because it's easy, but because it's worth it. And because deep down, you know you're capable of more. Break your comfort zone today. Then do it again tomorrow, and again the day after that. Keep going until growth becomes your new standard. Until discomfort feels like progress. Until you look in the mirror and see someone who refuses to stay the same. That's how you rise, that's how you lead. That's how you build a life that means something. You show up, you stretch, you push, and you keep going. Every single day. Number 4, take massive action daily. No matter how small it feels. Most people live their lives waiting for the perfect moment to begin. They think they need the right timing, the right tools, the right motivation, or even the perfect plan. But they forget one simple truth. Nothing changes without action. You can read all the books, watch all the videos, dream all the dreams, and talk about your goals all day long. But none of it will mean anything until you take real steps forward. Every single day that passes without action is a day you can't get back. And the reason most people don't make progress isn't because they don't know what to do. It's because they don't move. Taking massive action doesn't always look loud or impressive. Sometimes it's the quiet discipline of doing what needs to be done, even when it feels boring. It's making progress without needing applause. It's choosing to show up without needing motivation. That's what creates change. That's what builds momentum. And momentum, once it starts, becomes your greatest advantage. But you have to earn it. You have to build it one action at a time. Don't wait for clarity. Don't wait to feel ready. Start where you are with what you have. Use the time you've been wasting and put it to work. Massive action isn't about doing one huge thing once. It's about doing something that matters every single day, no matter how small it feels, because small things done consistently lead to big results over time. That's the truth most people overlook. They want the results, but they're not willing to take the steps. You don't rise by thinking about success. You rise by taking the next step, and then another. You rise by showing up daily. You rise by choosing discipline over delay. The people who get ahead in life are not always the smartest. They're the ones who take action while others are still planning. They move, they execute, they adjust as they go, but they never stand still. Think about what one small action could do if repeated every day. 1 hour of focused work, 1 page of reading, 1 conversation that pushes your goals forward, 1 decision to stop wasting time alone. These don't look like much, but done every day, they create a wave of growth that nothing can stop. People overestimate what they can do in a day and underestimate what they can do in a year of focused, consistent action. You don't need to do it all at once. You just need to do something and then do it again tomorrow. Don't let the size of the goals stop you. Don't let the distance between where you are and where you want to be freeze you. The only way to close that gap is to take a step, then another, and then another. Big goals are just a series of small steps done without quitting. It's not magic. It's work. It's patience. It's persistence. That's what creates real, lasting success. There's no perfect moment to start. There's only now. And if you keep putting it off, you'll still be in the same place a year from now, still making excuses, still talking about what you'll do someday. But someday is just a word people use to avoid responsibility. It keeps them comfortable. It keeps them from having to face the truth that progress requires effort, that growth requires action, that dreams don't come true by accident. Most people don't need more motivation. They need to make a decision. They need to decide that action matters more than comfort, that progress matters more than perfection, that effort matters more than waiting. When you make that decision, you become unstoppable. Not because everything is easy, but because you no longer wait for easy. You move through hard days. You push through doubt. You keep showing up, even when it's inconvenient. Massive action is a mindset. It's the mindset of doing what needs to be done, even when no one is watching. It's about refusing to let fear stop you. It's about caring more about results than opinions. It's about building your life with your own hands, not hoping someone else does it for you. No one is going to save you. No one is coming to hand you your dreams. If you want it, you have to move. The most powerful habit you can build is the habit of taking action daily. Not just when it's easy, not just when it feels exciting, but every day, especially when it's boring, especially when it's hard. Because those are the days that separate the committed from the casual, the winners from the wishers. You don't have to move mountains today. Just move something. Just take the next step. Keep moving forward. There will be days when you feel like your actions don't matter. Days when progress feels invisible. But don't stop. Those are the most important days. That's where the real strength is built. That's where mental toughness is formed. Not in the results, but in the consistency. The discipline to show up and do the work, even when it's hard to see the payoff. That's what sets you apart. And here's what's real. Most people quit because they don't see results fast enough. But that's not how results work. Results come to those who are patient, to those who trust the process, to those who understand that action is the seed, and time is the sunlight. You plant today, you water tomorrow. You keep going. Eventually the growth shows, but only for the ones who kept moving when it looked like nothing was happening. If you want to change your life, change what you do daily, change what you tolerate, change how you spend your time. Stop treating your dreams like they can wait. They can't. Life is moving, whether you're moving or not, and time is either working for you or against you. That choice is yours, no one else's. Take action, not because it's easy, but because it's necessary. Not because you feel like it, but because you promised yourself you would. That's the standard that changes lives. That's how you build self-respect. When you take action every day, you stop needing motivation. You become the kind of person who moves with purpose, who doesn't wait to feel ready, who doesn't ask for permission, who decides and executes. If you've got 10 minutes, use it. If you've got 1 hour, use it. Stop telling yourself it's not enough time. Every minute matters. Every moment is a chance to grow, to build, to become more. You don't need 8 hours to take massive action. You just need intention. You need focus. You need to stop wasting time on things that don't move your life forward. Ask yourself right now, what action have you been avoiding? What step have you put off? Because it felt too small or too hard or too uncertain. Take it today, not tomorrow. Today, take it because the only way to build a better future is by doing something about it now. Don't wait for the stars to align. Don't wait for perfect clarity. Move with what you know. Learn from what you do. Adjust as you go. But move. You don't get stronger by thinking about the gym. You get stronger by lifting. You don't get better at your craft by watching others. You get better by practicing. You don't build confidence by sitting in silence. You build it by doing the uncomfortable things, by facing what scares you, by proving to yourself that you're not here to watch life pass by. You're here to lead it. Massive action doesn't guarantee success, but it guarantees progress. And progress is what builds confidence. Progress is what creates change. Progress is what keeps you in motion. And once you build that motion, You stop second guessing. You stop doubting. You start believing that you're capable because you've got proof. You've got history. You've got momentum on your side. If you take action daily, you will separate yourself from 90% of people. Most won't even start, and those who do, most of them won't keep going. That's your edge. That's your power. You don't stop when it gets uncomfortable. You don't slow down when the excitement fades. You stay locked in because you know that greatness isn't a feeling. It's a decision repeated daily. Your life will not change by accident. It will change through commitment, through discipline, through movement. And every time you act, even when it feels small, you're building the kind of person who doesn't quit, the kind who keeps rising, the kind who leads. That's who you are becoming. So stop asking if it's the right time. It's the right time when you decide to act. Stop wondering if it's enough. It's enough when you give your best effort. Stop hoping for motivation. Motivation shows up after movement, not before. And stop playing small. Your life is too important. Your goals matter. Your time matters. Use it with purpose. Action is power. It's direction. It's clarity. And the more you do, the more you'll believe in yourself. The more you'll achieve, not overnight, not in a week, but over time with discipline, with purpose, with action, every single day, no matter how small it feels, because every small step counts, and they add up to a life you can be proud of. Number 5, push yourself harder today than you did yesterday. There's a version of you that lives on the other side of effort, a stronger, wiser, more focused version that only shows up when you choose to outdo yourself. That version doesn't arrive by accident. It's created when you demand more of yourself than you did the day before. Most people stay the same because they repeat the same energy every day. They give what they're used to giving. They do what's easy. They stay at the level where they're comfortable. But real change starts when you choose to dig deeper than you did yesterday. When you set a new standard for yourself and refuse to fall back to the old one. Every day, you get a choice. You can keep cruising through your routine, or you can push the line forward. You can decide that yesterday's effort isn't good enough today. You can decide that the progress you made yesterday is just the beginning. Because no matter how far you've come, there's more waiting, more potential, more strength, more growth. And it won't reveal itself unless you show up with intensity, unless you challenge your limits instead of surrendering to them. Most people hit a point where they slow down. They let comfort creep in. They tell themselves they've done enough. But growth doesn't come from doing enough. It comes from going beyond enough. It comes from making yourself uncomfortable on purpose, from doing what you don't feel like doing, from holding yourself to a higher standard than the day before. That's where mental power is built. Not in the moments when everything feels easy, but in the moments when you push forward despite the resistance. That's where character is forged. When your legs are tired, but you take another step. When your mind is doubtful, but you choose to stay locked in. When your emotions say slow down, but you keep your pace. That's when you know you're becoming stronger. Not just physically, but mentally, emotionally, spiritually. The biggest mistake people make is thinking that discipline is something you use once in a while. It's not, it's something you call on every day. It's something you sharpen with repetition. And one of the ways you sharpen it is by pushing a little harder today than you did yesterday. Not twice as hard, just a little, just enough to stretch yourself, just enough to know you didn't settle. Because if you do that day after day, you begin to raise your baseline, you raise your capacity, you raise your confidence. Progress is not about comparing yourself to others. It's about comparing yourself to your previous self and asking, am I giving more today than I gave yesterday? Am I learning more, growing more, fighting harder? If the answer is yes, you're on the right track. If the answer is no, it's time to wake up and stop wasting time pretending that average effort will create exceptional results. It won't. You get what you demand, not from others, but from yourself. People love to talk about goals, but they forget that goals are reached by effort, and not just any effort. Compounded effort. Consistent improvement, relentless drive, and the willingness to do more than what's required. When you train your mind to go past the line where most people stop, you begin to separate yourself. You begin to become the person who leads, not follows. The person who inspires, not imitates. Every day is a test of your will, a test of your focus, a test of your commitment. And every day you show up and push yourself harder, you pass that test. You prove to yourself that you're not controlled by how you feel. You're controlled by what you've committed to. And that kind of self-leadership, that's where freedom begins. Freedom from excuses, freedom from doubt, freedom from the average mindset that waits for motivation instead of showing up with discipline. Think about it like this. If you keep doing the same amount of work, with the same level of intensity, expecting things to change, you're fooling yourself. If you want new outcomes, you need new levels of effort. You need to push past the old ceiling and build a new one. That doesn't happen by chance. It happens by choice. A choice you make the moment your alarm goes off. A choice you make when it's time to train. A choice you make when it's easier to relax. But you know there's still work to do. Growth hurts sometimes. It challenges your patience. It tests your endurance. It asks you to stretch in ways you're not used to. But it's in those moments that you uncover who you really are. You learn you're more capable than you believed. You learn that fear isn't stronger than your will. You learn that quitting is a decision, and so is rising. Every time you choose to go further, you change. You become more. The reason most people don't grow isn't because they lack talent. It's because they lack the mindset that says, I will outwork who I was yesterday. That mindset turns effort into a habit. That mindset turns pain into strength. That mindset turns pressure into clarity. And when you live with that kind of mentality, every day becomes a platform for elevation. You don't have to take giant leaps. You just have to take solid steps with more purpose, with more effort, with more focus than you did before. Push yourself in your work. Push yourself in your health. Push yourself in your mindset. Push yourself in your time management. And do it because you know what you're capable of. Even if the world doesn't see it yet, there's no prize for doing the bare minimum. There's no reward for coasting through your days. The satisfaction comes from knowing you gave your best when no one was watching, that you did more than what was expected, that you refused to stay in the same place. That's how you build real confidence. Not by talking, but by doing. Not by hoping, but by showing up and proving it. Some people will say you're doing too much. Some people will say you should slow down. But they don't understand your vision. They don't see what you see. They don't know what it's like to feel stuck inside your own potential and finally break free. That's why this isn't about them. This is about you, about the promise you made to yourself, about the standards you're setting, about the future you're building. One extra rep, one extra hour, one extra decision at a time. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be better than yesterday. That's the standard. And when that becomes your obsession, not perfection, but improvement, you start to rise in ways you never thought possible. You start to realize that discipline can replace motivation. That hard work can outlast talent. That self-belief grows every time you finish what you start. Most people waste their energy comparing themselves to someone ahead of them. But comparison isn't the answer. Accountability is. Ask yourself at the end of every day, did I give more today than I did yesterday? Did I stretch a little further? Did I stay focused a little longer? Did I avoid the distractions that stole time from me before? If the answer is yes, you're winning. Because this is how champions are built. Quietly, consistently. Day by day, you don't rise to the level of your dreams. You rise to the level of your discipline. And discipline means doing what's required even when it's uncomfortable. Even when you're tired. Even when no one will know whether you gave 80% or 100%. You will know. And that's the voice you'll live with. So give your all, not because someone is watching, but because you're watching. And you deserve to live in the reality your effort creates. Push harder today. Not because you have something to prove, but because you have something to build. Push harder because there's a version of you that needs to see that you're serious. Push harder because momentum isn't built in one day, but it can be broken in one. And if you ease up today, you teach yourself to slow down tomorrow. Don't do that. Stay sharp. stay hungry, stay focused. It's not about grinding non-stop until you burn out. It's about being intentional with your energy, strategic with your time, disciplined in your execution, and consistent with your effort. That's how you win. That's how you separate yourself. That's how you live without regret. If you want to build something great, you have to be someone great. And greatness isn't built when everything goes right. It's built in the middle of resistance. It's built when you're tired, but you choose to keep going. It's built when you're tempted to settle, but you keep rising. That's the difference between those who dream and those who achieve. That's the difference between potential and power. So don't slow down. Don't wait until it feels good. Don't waste time doing just enough to get by. Push today. Now push because you can. Push because you need to. Push because this is your life. And the only way to make it better is to demand more from yourself than you ever have before. And do it again tomorrow. Better, stronger, sharper. That's how you win. Number 6, make every minute count by focusing on your goals. Every minute you have is precious. Time, once spent, never returns. You can waste it, or you can make it count. The difference between those who achieve and those who don't often comes down to one simple thing: how they use their time. It's not about having more time. It's about what you do with the time you have. The clock never stops ticking, but it's up to you to decide what you're doing while it ticks. Every second that passes is another opportunity to make progress toward your goals. The question is, will you take it? Let's be honest. We all waste time. It's easy, it's comfortable, it's convenient. But if you're serious about building something meaningful, something that matters to you, you can't afford to let even 1 minute slip away. You can't afford to let distractions take you off course. You can't afford to wait for the perfect moment to start. The time to act is always now. Every moment is a chance to get closer to your dreams, but only if you use it wisely. Time management isn't just about planning. It's about prioritizing. It's about knowing what's important to you and focusing all your energy on it. You have goals, big ones, small ones, personal ones, professional ones, and they won't happen unless you make them happen. And making them happen doesn't just mean working hard. It means working smart. It means making every single minute count. If you're wasting time on things that don't serve your goals, you're making the biggest mistake of your life. When you get focused on your goals, you stop being distracted by everything else. Every minute is either bringing you closer to your dreams or pulling you farther away from them. There is no neutral ground. There is no standing still. You're either moving forward or you're moving backward. So what are you doing with your minutes? Start by eliminating the time wasters. You know what they are. They're the things that take up your time without giving you anything in return. The endless scrolling on social media, the distractions that pull your focus, the habits that drain your energy. Every moment you spend on something that doesn't align with your goals is a minute you'll never get back. Every time you waste time, you're telling yourself that your goals aren't important. That's the message you're sending to your mind and your spirit, and it's time to change that. Focus is the key to making every minute count. It's easy to get distracted in today's world. There are a million things demanding your attention. But here's the thing. None of those things will help you achieve your dreams. Only your goals will do that. So you need to give them your full attention. You need to be ruthless with your time. Every minute you spend thinking about something unrelated to your goals is a minute you're stealing from your future. But focus isn't just about shutting out distractions. It's also about knowing what to focus on. When you know your goals, when you've defined what you want and why you want it, it's easy to make decisions. You don't have to waste time figuring out what you should be doing. You already know. You know what tasks, what actions, what habits will bring you closer to your goals, and you know which ones won't. That's when you stop wasting time and start investing it. Every minute you spend focused on your goals is a minute you're moving forward. You may not see immediate results, but that's not what matters. What matters is that you're putting in the work, day in and day out. And over time, that work compounds. It adds up. You'll look back and realize that all those little moments, all those focused minutes, created something big, and it will be a product of your consistency, your commitment, and your focus. You also need to be aware of your energy. Time isn't just about clocking in hours. It's about how much you're giving of yourself during those hours. If you're giving 50% of your energy, you're not going to get the results you want. But if you're giving 100%, if you're all in, if you're fully committed, you'll be amazed at how much you can achieve. It's not about working harder. It's about working with full intent. Every task, every project, every moment of your day is an opportunity to pour everything you've got into it. Don't hold back. Don't waste your energy on anything that isn't aligned with your purpose. One of the most powerful things you can do is track your time. When you start paying attention to where your time goes, you'll quickly see the gaps. You'll see where you're spending too much time on things that don't move you forward. And once you identify those gaps, you can start closing them. It's not enough to say you're going to focus on your goals. You need to measure it. You need to see where your time is going so that you can make adjustments and get back on track. Another important factor in making every minute count is being intentional. You don't just want to be busy, you want to be productive. You don't just want to fill your day with tasks. You want to make sure that every task is moving you closer to your goals. This requires intentional planning. It means knowing what you're going to do with every minute of your day before you even start. It's about taking control of your time, not letting it control you. But let's not kid ourselves. There are times when life gets in the way. There are days when everything feels like a challenge. But even on those days, you have a choice. You can choose to waste time, or you can choose to make the most of it. You can choose to keep moving forward, no matter how small the steps are, because even the smallest step forward is better than staying still. And when you look back, those small steps will have turned into miles of progress. The key to success is consistency. It's the ability to show up every day and make every minute count, no matter what. It's the willingness to stay focused on your goals, to put in the work, even when you don't feel like it. It's the discipline to keep going, even when things get tough. And it's the realization that your future is being shaped by the choices you make in the present. Every minute you spend focused on your goals is an investment in your future. When you focus on your goals, you start to see opportunities everywhere. Every minute becomes a chance to learn, to grow, to get better. You'll start noticing ways to improve your routines, ways to maximize your productivity, ways to stay on track, even when things get hard. You'll see that every day is a gift, and it's up to you to decide how to use it. Don't let a single minute slip by. You've got goals to achieve, dreams to chase, and a future to build. Time waits for no one, so make every minute count. And here's the truth. When you make every minute count, the world starts to change. People will notice your focus, your commitment, your energy. They'll see you moving ahead, and they'll wonder how you do it. But you'll know the secret. It's simple. You decided to take your time seriously. You decided to focus on your goals, and you decided that every minute counts. And that's how you create the life you've always dreamed of. Number 7, stop waiting for motivation. Create it through action. Waiting for motivation is like waiting for the perfect storm to sail. It may come, or it may never. The reality is, motivation doesn't just appear when you need it. It's not something you can sit around hoping for. It's something you have to create. You have to build it, generate it, and sustain it yourself. It's not something that comes from outside. It's something that starts from within, and it starts with action. You've heard it before. I'll start once I feel motivated. That's a trap. It's a lie. It's the excuse that keeps people stuck in place. If you keep waiting to feel motivated before you take action, you'll be waiting forever. Motivation is not something that happens to you. It's something you make happen by taking consistent, deliberate action. Think about it. When was the last time you felt truly motivated without taking any action? When you're sitting on the couch, scrolling through social media, watching others do what you want to do you suddenly feel inspired to get up and do the same? Probably not. But when you finally get up, when you take that first step, when you start moving, that's when the energy starts to flow. That's when motivation kicks in. It's not the other way around. Action is the fuel for motivation, not the result. The key to motivation is understanding that you're in control. Motivation isn't something that comes from external sources. It doesn't come from watching a motivational video. reading a quote, or hearing someone tell you to get moving. It comes from you. It comes from within. The first step in creating motivation is to take the action you need to take, even when you don't feel like it. Motivation doesn't wait for you to feel like doing something. It forces you to start anyway. We live in a world where we are constantly bombarded with distractions. We're told by society to wait for the right moment, to wait for the perfect conditions. But the perfect conditions don't exist. You don't need everything to be lined up perfectly in order to act. You don't need to wait for the stars to align. You just need to start. The hardest part is always the beginning. That's when you feel the resistance. That's when you feel like you're fighting yourself. But once you push through that initial resistance and take that first step, the rest of the process becomes easier. It's not about waiting for motivation to show up. It's about creating momentum through small actions. You don't need to wait until you feel motivated to go for a run, start a project, or write that paper. Just get moving. The motivation will follow. Here's the thing. The longer you wait for motivation, the harder it becomes to get started. The more you procrastinate, the more the weight of your goals piles up, and the harder it gets to push through. But when you act in the face of resistance, you break the cycle. You take control. You create momentum. And with momentum comes motivation. The more you move, the more you want to move. It's a snowball effect. The hardest part is always that first step. But once you take it, you'll find that it's easier to take the next one. The secret to creating motivation is action. Every time you take action, no matter how small, you reinforce the habit of moving forward. Every action you take, every step you make, gets you closer to where you want to go. It doesn't matter how small the step is. What matters is that you're moving, you're making progress, you're showing up. And the more you show up, the more motivated you will become. But let's be real. There are days when it feels impossible. You don't want to do anything. You feel tired. You feel overwhelmed. But the truth is, those are the days that matter the most. Because those are the days when you prove to yourself that you can push through. Those are the days when you create the most powerful motivation. When you choose to act, even when you don't feel like it, you're telling yourself that you're bigger than your excuses. You're showing yourself that you don't need motivation to succeed. You just need the will to act. Another thing to understand is that motivation isn't about waiting for the perfect time or for everything to fall into place. The perfect time doesn't exist. You don't need everything to be in perfect alignment in order to start. You don't need the perfect mindset, the perfect circumstances, or the perfect plan. You need one thing and one thing only: the courage to begin. Motivation isn't going to knock on your door and say, "Hey, now's the time." You have to go after it yourself. You have to create it by taking the first step. Once you start taking action, you'll start to see results, and those results will fuel your motivation even more. The key is to stay consistent. It's not enough to take one step and expect everything to change. It's not about waiting for motivation to strike again. It's about making action a daily habit. Every single day, you need to show up. You need to act. The more you act, the more motivation you create. It's a constant cycle of momentum and growth. You don't have to wait for motivation to appear, because you'll already be in the process of creating it. One of the biggest misconceptions people have is that motivation is a feeling. It's not. It's a choice. It's something you decide to do, not something you wait for. When you wake up in the morning, you have a choice. You can either wait to feel motivated, or you can create motivation through action. The choice is yours. Every time you choose to act, no matter how small the task, you create motivation. You create a sense of purpose. You build the energy to keep going. And over time, that energy becomes the fuel that drives your success. Motivation is not a magic feeling that appears when the conditions are right. It's something that you create through action. The more you act, the more motivated you become. The more you do, the more you want to do. It's a powerful cycle that propels you forward. So stop waiting for motivation. Stop hoping for it to appear. Start creating it through your actions. Start today. Take that first step. The motivation will follow. And once it does, there's no stopping you. It's time to stop waiting for motivation to come from somewhere else. It's time to take control of your own drive. Your goals, your dreams, your success. They all start with you, and they all begin with one thing: action. Stop waiting for motivation to find you. Create it through the choices you make, through the actions you take, and through the consistency you bring every single day. The power is yours. Now go out and create your own motivation. It's waiting for you to take the first step. Number 8, commit to daily progress. No matter how tough it gets in life, there are times when the path ahead seems insurmountable, the challenges too great, and the obstacles too numerous. You feel drained, defeated, and every step feels heavier than the last. It's during these moments when you want to quit, when you feel like giving up is the only option, that your true commitment to progress is tested. Life doesn't always go the way we plan, and progress doesn't always come easily. But here's the thing: daily progress, no matter how small, is what will eventually lead you to success. It's easy to commit to progress when everything is going well, when things are smooth, when the road is clear. It's easy to feel motivated and determined to move forward. But what happens when life throws curveballs? When the storm hits and everything seems to fall apart? That's when the real test begins. That's when your commitment to daily progress becomes more important than ever. The truth is, no one makes it to their goals by quitting at the first sign of struggle. No one achieves greatness by stopping when the going gets tough. It's the ones who keep going, who keep pushing, even when every fiber of their being is telling them to stop, who eventually reach the summit. You won't get there by waiting for a perfect day, a perfect moment, or a perfect situation. Progress is built by showing up every single day, no matter how hard it gets. Think about it for a second. How many times have you faced adversity and thought about quitting? How many times have you felt overwhelmed, unsure of whether or not you could keep going? Everyone has those moments. But the key is not to let those moments define you. The key is to keep moving forward, even when it feels impossible. Commit to daily progress, no matter how tough it gets. Every single day is an opportunity to do better, to improve, to move one step closer to your goals. But those opportunities are easy to miss if you let the tough days hold you back. We've all had days where we feel like we're stuck, like we're spinning our wheels and not getting anywhere. But those are the days that matter the most. Those are the days when small actions add up, when progress, even if it feels minimal, is still progress. The difference between those who succeed and those who fall short is simple: persistence. Persistence is what keeps you moving when it feels like nothing is happening. It's what allows you to keep going when you can't see the finish line. And the best part is, progress doesn't always have to be huge, dramatic changes. Sometimes the smallest steps forward are the most important. You may not see the results immediately. You may not feel like you're getting anywhere. But trust me, every small effort is compounding. Every day you show up, every time you push through, even when you don't feel like it, you are building momentum. You're building a foundation for the success you want. It might not happen overnight, but it will happen if you commit to daily progress. Let me ask you this: what if you just keep going? What if, even on the days that seem impossible, you continue to move forward? The truth is, those small steps you take every day, no matter how insignificant they may seem, add up over time. And before you know it, you've made more progress than you ever thought possible. But it all starts with making the choice to keep going, even when it's tough. People often ask, how do I keep going when everything seems stacked against me? The answer is simple: because your commitment to progress is stronger than the setbacks. Because your goals are bigger than the obstacles in front of you. When you commit to progress, you're not just working toward a goal, you're building a habit, a mindset, and a lifestyle of consistency. It's about building the muscle of perseverance. The toughest moments of your journey aren't just obstacles, they're opportunities. Opportunities to test your strength, to push your limits, and to show yourself that you're capable of more than you ever imagined. It's easy to keep going when everything is going smoothly. It's much harder when you're facing challenges, when life doesn't go according to plan, and when you're unsure whether or not you can keep moving forward. But those are the moments that matter the most. Commitment to daily progress doesn't mean that you're going to make massive leaps every single day. That's not how growth works. Growth happens through consistent effort over time. It's about showing up, doing the work, and not giving up, even when the results are not immediately visible. It's about doing something every day that brings you closer to your goal, even if it's just one small step. You're not going to feel motivated every day. You won't always have the energy or the enthusiasm to give it your all. But that's okay. It's not about waiting for motivation to strike. It's about making the decision to keep going, even when you don't feel like it. You can't rely on motivation alone. Motivation comes and goes. What matters is commitment. The commitment to show up every single day, no matter what. As you continue to commit to daily progress, you'll start to realize that progress isn't always about the big wins or the major accomplishments. It's about the small victories. It's about the moments when you push through the hardest days. The days when you feel like quitting, but you keep going anyway. Those moments, no matter how small they seem, are what will carry you forward. And as those small steps accumulate, you'll begin to see the bigger picture. You'll begin to see how far you've come. There's no magic formula for success, no secret trick. The key is simple. Show up, do the work, and keep going. Even when it's tough, even when you're tired, even when you want to quit, commit to daily progress. It's about pushing yourself, even on the hard days. It's about finding the strength to keep going, even when the road is long and difficult. You don't have to have all the answers right now. You don't have to know exactly how everything is going to unfold. All you have to do is show up and keep moving forward, one step at a time. Progress is about consistency. It's about doing something every day, no matter how small, that brings you closer to your goal. The more consistent you are, the more you will see results. It's the daily commitment that makes all the difference. So no matter how tough it gets, no matter how far the journey seems, commit to daily progress. That's how success is built. That's how you'll reach your goals. And that's how you'll become the person you've always dreamed of becoming. Keep going. Keep showing up. Commit to progress, and success will follow. Number 9. Turn your dreams into reality with consistent daily effort. Turning your dreams into reality doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't happen with a single great idea or a single huge effort. Dreams take time, effort, and a relentless commitment to the process. It's easy to get lost in the idea of achieving greatness, but achieving that greatness requires more than just wishing for it. It requires action, consistent, daily effort. That's what will turn your dreams into something real. You've got dreams. I'm sure you do. Everyone does. Whether it's starting your own business, becoming the best in your field, or simply living a life of purpose, those dreams are the driving force that keep you awake at night, thinking about what's possible. But dreams alone won't get you there. It's not enough to just dream about what you want to achieve. The real question is, what are you doing every single day to make those dreams a reality? Dreams are easy to get excited about. We all have that moment when we see a vision of what we want, and it feels powerful. It feels like it's right within our reach. But the truth is, the gap between where you are and where you want to be is filled with daily effort. Every action you take, no matter how small, moves you closer to that dream. Every decision you make, every step you take, gets you closer to turning your dream into reality. And that's where most people fall short. They want the results, but they don't want to put in the work. The biggest mistake you can make is to expect instant results. No one wakes up and immediately achieves their dreams. It takes time, it takes effort, and it takes consistency. Every day you show up, you're making an investment in your future. You're taking one more step toward realizing your vision. Consistency is the key. It's not about doing everything perfectly or doing everything all at once. It's about showing up every day, doing what you can, and making progress. No matter how small it might seem, the small steps, the consistent efforts, they add up. Over time, they compound into something bigger than you could have imagined. That's how dreams become reality. It's not magic. It's the result of consistent action. Too many people quit too soon because they don't see immediate results. They get frustrated because the progress doesn't seem fast enough. But the key is to understand that real success doesn't come in giant leaps. It's built by taking small, consistent actions day in and day out. When you focus on making progress every day, no matter how small that progress is, you start to see the bigger picture. You start to realize that those small efforts are what lead to significant change. It doesn't matter where you start. What matters is that you begin and that you stay consistent. The first step is always the hardest. But once you start, the momentum will carry you. It's just like pushing a boulder up a hill. At first it's heavy and difficult to move, but once it gets rolling, it's easier to keep going. The challenge is in that initial push. The challenge is in committing to the process and putting in the work, even when you don't feel like it. The truth is, most people give up on their dreams because they're not willing to show up when it gets tough. They give up because they want the easy way out. But the truth is, there is no easy way. Success takes effort, and it takes time. The dream you have is not going to come to you because you hope for it. It's going to come because you put in the work. You show up every single day, even on the days when it's hard, when you don't feel like it, when the results aren't immediately visible. Ask yourself this: if you keep showing up every day, no matter what, where will you be in a year, in 5 years, in 10? If you commit to the process and consistently put in the effort, you will be amazed at how far you can go. The distance between where you are now and where you want to be is not as great as you think. It's just a matter of consistently moving forward, taking action, and making progress, no matter how small it seems. You don't need to do everything at once. You don't need to have everything figured out. All you need to do is take one step forward each day. Every step is a part of the journey. Every action you take gets you closer to that dream. It's about progress, not perfection. It's about showing up, doing the work, and trusting that over time, that work will lead you to where you want to be. The power of consistent daily effort is often underestimated. People want big results now. They want to see the changes immediately. But real change takes time. It's about building habits, one day at a time. It's about developing a mindset that doesn't look for shortcuts or instant gratification. It's about understanding that lasting success is built over time, not overnight. And this is where most people go wrong. They see other people's success, and they think it happened all at once. They think it happened because that person was lucky or had some secret advantage. But the truth is, the person who achieved success did so by showing up every day and putting in the work. They made small, consistent efforts every single day, and over time, those efforts compounded into something massive. This is the key to turning your dreams into reality. Show up every day and make progress, no matter how small that progress is. Every single day you work toward your goals. You're moving closer to your dreams. The key is to focus on the process, not the end result. If you focus on the end result, you may become discouraged if it doesn't happen immediately. But if you focus on the daily effort, on the daily actions that bring you closer to your goal, you will find fulfillment in the journey itself. Every single step you take is progress. Every day you dedicate yourself to the process. You're creating the foundation for your success. It's easy to get discouraged when things aren't happening fast enough. It's easy to feel like your efforts aren't paying off. But I promise you they are. The progress is there. It's happening. You just have to trust the process and keep going. There's no secret to turning your dreams into reality. The secret is in the consistent daily effort. It's in showing up every single day, no matter how tough it gets. It's in trusting that the work you put in today will lead to something greater in the future. It's in committing to the process, even when the results aren't immediately visible. If you're serious about turning your dreams into reality, you have to be willing to put in the work. You have to be willing to show up every day, no matter what. You can't wait for the perfect moment, the perfect situation, or the perfect opportunity. You have to create those moments by showing up, doing the work, and taking consistent action every day. So take that first step. Commit to daily progress. Trust the process. And before you know it, your dreams will no longer be just dreams. They'll be your reality. Number 10. Keep your eyes on the prize and never look back. Success is not a random event. It is a choice, a commitment to a vision, a promise to keep moving forward, no matter the obstacles, no matter how difficult or tempting it may be to look back. There's a power in keeping your eyes fixed firmly on the prize. It's a strength that most people fail to cultivate. They get distracted, they lose sight of their goals, or they let past mistakes or setbacks define their future. But the ones who succeed, who truly succeed, are the ones who never look back. They stay focused on what's ahead, not on what's behind. In life, it's easy to become consumed with regret. We've all made mistakes, faced failures, or missed opportunities. It's easy to let the past dictate our actions and influence our present. But you have to remember this: the past is gone. You can't change it. The only thing that you can control is what you do right now, today, in this very moment. And if you want to make your dreams a reality, you need to keep your eyes on the prize, never looking back and never allowing the weight of past failures or mistakes to hold you down. Looking back holds no value in your future. The more you focus on the past, the less energy you have to move forward. It's like driving a car while constantly looking in the rearview mirror. Sure, the past may have brought you to where you are now, but the road ahead is the one that matters. If you keep glancing backward, you'll miss the turns and opportunities in front of you. The distractions of regret, doubt, or anger over what could have been will only slow you down. Success comes from single-minded focus. It comes from taking each day and each step as an opportunity to get closer to what you want. And when you focus on what's ahead, you start to make decisions based on your future, not on your past. You start taking actions that lead to growth, to progress, to the fulfillment of your goals. It's easy to get distracted by what's happening around you. It's easy to compare your progress to others, to get caught up in what other people are doing. But this is your journey, your life, your dreams, and no one else can walk that path for you. The only person who can keep you on track is you. If you want to stay on course, you have to guard your focus. You have to protect it with everything you've got. The temptation to look back is always there. It's natural to wonder, what if, or what could I have done differently? But these thoughts only pull you further from your goal. They drag you down, filling your mind with doubt and uncertainty. Every moment you spend in the past is a moment you're not moving toward your future. Every thought spent on the past is a thought you're not dedicating to building the future you want. The key is to embrace the present. Your power is in today. The actions you take today will shape your tomorrow. So why waste your energy on what can't be changed? Why dwell on the mistakes of yesterday when you have an entire future waiting to be written? Every step you take forward brings you closer to the life you've imagined. And it's a life that's full of possibilities, opportunities, and victories. But only if you keep your eyes on the prize. Focusing on your goal is a daily practice. It requires discipline, commitment, and a refusal to let distractions pull you off course. Every day you make choices. Every day you decide whether to move toward your goal or away from it. The choices you make, big or small, add up. And over time, those choices either bring you closer to your dreams or take you further away. But when you stay focused on your prize, you begin to build momentum. You begin to make progress. You start to see results. But the reality is, progress isn't always visible. Sometimes the road ahead can feel like a long and difficult one. And that's when it's even more crucial to keep your eyes on the prize. The road may be tough, but it's still the road that leads to where you want to be. And no matter how hard it gets, no matter how many obstacles or setbacks you face, don't lose sight of your goal. You will encounter failures. That's a guarantee. You will face setbacks that make you question whether you're on the right path. But don't let those failures stop you. Don't let them define you. Each failure is simply a lesson, a stepping stone on your journey to success. And the way you respond to those setbacks determines your future. If you allow yourself to get bogged down by the past, by your mistakes, or by what others think of you, you will never move forward. But if you learn from those experiences, if you see them as part of the process, you will only grow stronger. The winners in life are the ones who keep moving forward, even when they feel like they've failed. They understand that failure is not a sign to stop. It's a sign to keep going. It's a sign to adapt, to evolve, and to keep pushing until you reach your goal. The real key to success is perseverance, the ability to stay focused, to keep going, even when the road is hard and the results aren't immediate. Your dreams are worth the effort. Your future is worth the struggle. The power of staying focused on your goals is that it gives you the strength to push through difficult times. It fuels your desire to keep going, even when the temptation to look back is strong. When you focus on your prize, you turn every challenge into an opportunity to grow stronger. Every successful person, from athletes to entrepreneurs, knows this truth. It's not about avoiding failure. It's about learning from it and continuing to move forward. It's about maintaining that laser-like focus on the goal, no matter what happens along the way. And as you keep moving forward, something incredible happens. You start to build confidence. You start to trust the process. You begin to realize that nothing can stop you, not even the setbacks, not even the failures. So when the temptation to look back comes, remind yourself of why you started. Remember your dream. Remember the reason you're pushing forward. Your prize is out there waiting for you, but it's not going to come to you while you're looking in the past. Your prize is found by staying focused, by staying present, and by never losing sight of what you're working toward. Your future is a reflection of your choices today. Every decision you make brings you closer to or further from your prize. Every step you take, every choice you make, whether you're aware of it or not, is shaping your future. So make every moment count. Keep your eyes on the prize and never look back. Success is waiting for you, and it's only a matter of time before you get there. But you can't get there if you're constantly looking over your shoulder. Stay focused, keep pushing forward, and trust the journey.